Who's leading?
Everyone's a leader.
Go on. Ladies first.
We didn't win the lottery last night.
Great. Glad I handed over my time to you to announce that we did not yet win enough money to retire.
I know. Well, I keep trying. I've become a regular low-level lottery player the last few years because I used to say, oh, when I win the lottery, but I wasn't playing it. So I feel like I'm now one step closer to winning the lottery because I play it weekly-ish.
Yeah. Well, I support you. I, on the other hand, will take a more practical approach in trying to get there by selling our podcast.
Okay, great. Spotify, call us.
Or just having us come and chat at a corporate event.
Yeah, call us.
We'd be great.
We'd be great.
People love us.
People would love us.
You want people to come to your conference? Throw us on the on the agenda.
Maybe if you started going by Timmy, we would become more marketable.
No.
Kimi and Timmy. All right, I tried. Someday. All right, well, welcome to Lead, Laugh, Love. I'm going to kick us off this week with our lead question.
I feel like you let us off last time.
No, I just listened to the podcast as I was editing it, and you definitely let us off.
All right. Okay, so, fair. Turn taking.
That's right. Oh. Okay. For a lead question this week, what is an unseen pressure that you think leaders feel but don't talk about?
Okay, I really need to feel this question, so say it again, please.
What is an unseen pressure that you think leaders feel but don't talk about?
It's deep. Oof. I don't know. I need a minute to think about this.
It's a good one, right? It's kind of deep.
It's deep. It's deep. And I'm just trying to, like, it's Sunday. I don't know why we record these things on a Sunday. I mean, I know why we do it, but I'm going to answer it.
Okay,
We're keeping all this in.
Okay.
Everyday people struggle, and so do those that do podcasts.
Maybe more so. This is a cry for help.
Yeah. So I actually, I think the reason for my pause is because it's like, is this just something I'm feeling? See, that's
kind of a trick question.
It is that's the tricky part of it.
Maybe what's the unseen pressure you feel as a leader?
Well, no, let's not. Don't reframe it.
Okay.
Stick to your guns. I think it's a good question because it addresses also a problem that people aren't talking about, these pressures, and we should be, because it adds validity to the concern or to the pressure that didn't exist prior, right? Like, I think sometimes when people are in difficult situations, they don't talk about it because it's a vulnerability, and so it's scary to bring up, and it's like, well, am I the only one who's feeling this way? I'm probably the only one who's feeling this way, so I'm just gonna deal with it, right? But that's why vulnerability, like speaking out on your vulnerability, is so important, because it's just like people are actually going through this too, and there's strength in vocalizing that, and then the community response of realizing, like, oh, I'm not the only one that's going through this alone, and there is other people, and that's how change happens. Yeah. But my response would be, the hesitation was because I think it's the pressure of the business. I think that at some point in a company's growth, we start to shift away from prioritizing our people, and we prioritize the business. And a particular pressure that I feel is having to negotiate what's best for my people to serve what's best for the business. And I don't like it.
Yeah, it's so tough.
As a leader, I don't I don't like it. And so it is a very difficult situation to be in, to have conversations with people where it's like, as a human being, I don't want to have this conversation, but I'm employed by this organization. I get paid by this organization. And at the end of the day, like, they win. But, as a people manager, I want to be able to push back on the business, to just make sure that we're not completely forgetting about our people. And so that's also just like a lot of pressure of having that conversation, being the advocate that I am. I mean, it's my leadership style, is to advocate. And so, it's tough to have to push back on upper management to say, hey, is this the best decision?
Yeah.
I wish there was a little bit more transparency in some of these things, to better understand how decisions are being made. But that's for me, that's the tough one.
Yeah. Great answer.
Thanks.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck in that question, so I got
Yeah.
to shift out of it.
Well, you got to ask me a question.
Yeah. So my question is, you, by your little pennant there.
Yeah, I added to my side of the podcast
Mm-hmm.
a little new decor.
So yesterday you were asked. Well, you weren't asked yesterday, but yesterday you were asked a while ago.
Yes, thank goodness.
To attend an event yesterday at Muskingum, where you had to present to potential new students.
Yep.
On a well, I want you to talk about that.
Okay.
I don't want to steal any thunder, but my question is, you've been asked to do a few of these engagements with various companies, colleges. You've been on different podcasts where you've been asked, different leadership questions. You've been given topics where you've had to address an audience. Like, what do you get out of these events? Like, what does that do for you? I'd like to know about this one recently in particular, because this was a leadership topic and one that we've talked about quite a bit. So
Yeah. Yeah. I really enjoy speaking just in general and connecting with people. I always have, even in high school, it's like, oh, I want to be student class vice president and I want to speak in front of people. So that's just something, like, as a person, that's something I just like to do as an activity. And I think I like the process of figuring out, like, what am I going to talk about? And I just like to talk. That's where I have a podcast. So I just think that piece of it just comes as a natural endorphin provider to me. But I've certainly channeled that into speaking about my work experiences, my leadership experiences, my experiences within my area of expertise. So I just like sharing with other people because I feel like that's what provided me the opportunities that got to where I am today. Other people sharing their experiences. In my career, it was like a particular product that was a big part of my day to day had a really robust community, and people were just really thoughtful about sharing their successes to make other people successful. And there's something about that mechanism that just really fulfills something inside me, as like maybe it's like, as a caretaker, like, what can I provide others to give them the same opportunities that I was provided? So all that to say, Muskingum, where I went to college, was sort of a turning point in my life. Like, I left my small town. I was the first person in my family to go to college. And that experience as a whole, those 4 years and the opportunities I got to do different things on campus, the jobs I was be able to participate in, it just felt like an equalizing experience for me for the first time. Like, when you're in college, you still can certainly feel the dynamics of people that come to school with money and growing up differently than you versus you. Like, that is still something, but I think college can help neutralize those differences in people. Like we all eat the same dining hall. I have the same meal plan you have. I have the same ability to walk places, or I have the same ability to take the same classes or participate in the same activities as you. So for me, that's why Muskingum particularly was so special to me. It felt like an opportunity where I could uh, be in a more even playing field with others, and if I could apply the work ethic I had developed, like what, how could I shape my own life as a young adult versus like when you're a kid, your life is sort of the circumstances you're in to a certain extent. So that's why I like to give back to Muskingum in particular. It's a special place for me. I've seen it do the same thing for lots of other students. And, you know, you just have a lot of school pride. So that's why I like giving back there specifically. And yesterday, I was able to speak to a bunch of high school seniors who have been offered scholarships by Muskingum. And really, the intent of the day is to give them and their families like one more opportunity to hopefully fall in love with Muskingum and decide to come there for school. So I'm in a room with a lot of high achieving, academically talented students. They obviously were offered scholarships for a reason. It's a D3 school, so we're not talking about sports scholarships. We're talking about academic scholarships. Having also not been a scholarship day participant when I was their age, I was like, how am I going to speak to these kids in a way that's authentic to me and what I got out of Muskingum and how that could apply to them? So I talked a lot about emotional intelligence and just how they've already earned the right to walk through certain doors because of their hard work academically. But how far they can go once they're through those doors will be based a lot on their emotional intelligence. And college is a great training ground for, like, your parents aren't there with you, you're on your own, and you have to decide like how you respond to like failing a class. Like you're literally sort of on your own to figure that out. How you get along with your random roommate who you do not get along with naturally, and you have to figure out like how do you respond to that situation instead of just reacting. So anyways, yeah, I focused on talking about emotional intelligence with them and just how now more than ever, I think it's something this world needs, as well as they're at the perfect jumping off point to proactively build emotional intelligence by being like self-aware about how they show up in certain situations. So it felt like a good opportunity to share that message because it's important to me. And also, you know, even if I just influenced a few kids in that room to grow their emotional intelligence in this time of their life, like huge win, I think.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, it was. It's cool to. Yeah, I've been to a couple of them, and it's cool to watch you up there slanging it.
I keep getting asked back, so I have to use the data at hand and say like, oh, I must do an okay job at these. But when I'm up there speaking, like sometimes I'm just like, is this landing?
Yeah.
Am I doing okay here? You know, especially when you're talking about high school and college age students, because they're not the most forthcoming with their engagement.
Well, yeah, and I think like in any speaker audience situation, like it's landing with some and not others.
Sure.
And that's okay.
I saw there was one mom in the audience yesterday because they're with their parents or adults that are with them. And she was just, whoever she was, shout out to her. She was smiling at me. She was a nodder. I'm a nodder as well when people are presenting because I want people to feel like I'm listening.
Yeah.
I want to be encouraging. I think I do it sitting here when we're talking. I love to nod, but she kind of kept me feeling like, all right, at least there's one person in this room smiling and nodding along. And so I appreciate those people too.
Yeah, that's great. All right, what else
Yeah.
you got?
Okay. Oh, laugh question. I'm not going to ask about how to load the dishwasher this week. Okay. I was listening to a lot of music this weekend because I was driving a lot of road tripping this weekend. So I was wondering, what are a few songs that will either pick up your mood, or maybe they're not upbeat songs to pick up your mood, but that help you kind of work through an emotional mood that you're in? Give me a little playlist.
It's so funny. It's a funny question because not only is it a laugh question, but it's a funny question because I had a situation about a year or so ago where I was there was some challenges that I was going through, not related to work. It was definitely on the personal life side of things, and I had to engage in a conversation with a panel of individuals that I needed to um, somewhat influence, but also like make sure I'm communicating and articulating a point. And just the mood I was in, I I went to like an old like playlist, and and I just it like really got my head right.
Okay.
And
Love that.
yeah, and it was I don't do it as commonly now as I did when I was younger, but when I was growing up, um well, I shouldn't say when I was growing up. It was more after I went through my divorce, and um I was alone for a long time before I met you,
Of course.
and just battled through a lot of different um mental health challenges, and music is always just such a great um, connector,
It's the best.
and sometimes to a detriment.
Yeah.
If you're feeling depressed and you're listening to depressing music, it can really
Well, and
keep
that's
you
kind of why I phrased the question the way I did, because like
keep you down.
sometimes I'm in a mood where it's like I do have a few songs that could definitely kind of bring me up, or I at least have to feel the urge to sing them. But sometimes I would just want to be in my feels.
Yeah,
So I also have some just like emotional, really sad songs that like, this is how I'm going to get to, happy Kimmy again.
yeah,
I want to feel my feels
for sure.
first.
Yeah, so I would always music that I would listen to before a workout or during a workout was always like just some hardcore rap,
Yeah.
you know, Ghetto Boys, Too Short, like just
Classics.
and that was the music I was listening to get my mind right for this meeting I was going into,
Oh my
which is
God. Okay. I love that.
pretty funny.
Your hype playlist.
Yeah, damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Yeah. You got to get your
Just
mind
had to
right.
get my head right. So,
I love that.
um, but I had this experience the other day. I was just feeling like I don't know, whatever, and I had my TSC Classic playlist on.
Mhm.
TSC Classic was the name of my golf event that I
Yeah.
hosted for many, many, many years.
So that playlist is infamous in itself.
Correct.
A lot of people have a subscription to that playlist. I still play it to this day, and it has so many songs on it.
So many songs. It's just so random.
It's everything you could need.
So whatever mood you're feeling, there's going to be a song or two in there that hits. And just cycling through, and the song that hit that kind of got me back on track was Laffy Taffy.
You love that song.
Laffy Taffy's solid.
It's a classic.
And then there's another one too, Stay Fly.
Another, yeah. You put that song on more frequently than anyone else I know, for sure.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, love that. Okay.
So yeah, so those are, but it's definitely around, 90s rap,
Yeah.
hip hop that usually gets me back on track.
Yeah.
Shabuzi is pretty good.
Yeah, he's got such a good vibe.
He's got a good vibe. He can get me out of some
Get you out of a
sometime.
jam.
Yeah. But
Great.
mm-hmm.
Love
Thanks.
that.
Yeah. All right. Actually, I have to
look at your list.
Yeah, I have to dig into my archives here. All right. Speaking of childhood,
Okay.
do you have a childhood? Do you have a story or a memory from your childhood that you will think of often that makes you laugh, whether it's because you're embarrassed by it and you can't believe like I was that person, or something that was just genuinely funny that you did when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Do you have a story like that you can share with us?
Yeah. Man, there's a couple that come to mind right away. It's so funny the core memories you develop as a child that are just so innocuous. And I'm sure there's so many like at the time should have been meaningful memories that like I got nothing in there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's one memory. I can't remember if I've told you the story before, but uh, my brother and my parents had just gotten a brand new fridge.
I think I do. I think
Okay.
I do know this one.
We had just gotten a new fridge, a new appliance, right? I haven't talked about it a ton on the podcast, but like I didn't grow up in a wealthy household. So buying a new fridge was a big deal and exciting for the whole family, right? And it must have been a few days into owning that fridge that my brother and I, being quite young, were just, being little shits, I guess. And I think it started with like, we took a couple of eggs out of the carton, closed the fridge door, and then you'd put eggs on top so that when someone opens the fridge,
They would
broken
fall. Yep.
eggs, which, like, if our kids did that, I would be like, are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's going on? But that was like prank culture, I guess, back then. So I think we did that. And then to take it one more level up, we thought it'd be funny to super glue the fridge shut, which is, again, if my kids did that, I'd be like, we need to have a meeting.
Yeah.
So, of course, my parents couldn't get the fridge open, but you have that like rubber seal so you can kind of start pulling it. So finally, they had to pull it as hard as they could and take probably a steak knife and like get it in there and like cut the rubber. So then the fridge, like it would still shut, but you had to make sure you had it like a puzzle piece right on that piece of rubber. And we had to live with that fridge. I mean, for the rest of the childhood, I remember living there. Like, it's funny because it's so insane that
Your
we thought,
parents had to be losing their minds.
I'm sure. And I don't remember their
Of
reaction.
course, it's locked away in Traumaville.
Exactly. Either they were super cool about it or they were so pissed, as they should have been, that I'm like, that one's locked up because I probably got in so much trouble.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a story that I just always think about.
There's my dad listens to these podcasts.
Shout out.
Which I love. But there was a situation that took place when I stayed at my dad's when I was younger that I am like so thankful it didn't work out the way that we had planned. But essentially, and I don't think he knows this story. So
Oh my God, buckle up.
here we go,
Mr.
Dad. So my parents were divorced. My dad was living on his own. He was single, and it was the house on BB. It was in Illyria. That was like that house was awesome. Like we still affectionately talk about some of the memories at
I've
that
heard some
house.
stories, yeah.
Great house. But anyway, I stayed at my dad's a random weekend, and I had a buddy of mine stay the night, and he was a bit of a troublemaker. Like I definitely look back at this friendship, quote unquote friendship, and it was just like,
Yeah.
I got in some serious trouble with this guy
Yeah.
where my parents were just like, okay, you're not hanging out with him
Yeah.
anymore. And it was probably,
For the best.
yeah.
Sometimes parents know best.
Yeah. So anyway, my dad lived in this neighborhood that it was a dead end. So it was a cul-de-sac, but like on the other side was Route 57.
Like a major interstate.
Major interstate. People are going, 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
We thought it would be a great idea to take eggs
Oh my God.
and launch them over this fence and try to hit a car.
Someone probably thought they were getting shot.
Well, luckily, we never hit a car.
Good thing.
But could you imagine?
No.
That would have led to a serious, like if it hit the windshield of,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Oh boy.
it didn't, like we kept I
What's with
mean,
eggs? You and I with the egg
yeah,
trauma.
but my dad being single didn't have a whole lot of food in his refrigerator. He had,
Ketchup and a dozen eggs.
yeah. So we couldn't, and like we were smart enough to know that like we had to like be careful with how many eggs we used because my dad would find out,
Mhm.
um, which he did. So we didn't try too many attempts, but luckily none of those eggs ever connected with a car because that would have been crazy. But yeah, the next morning my dad made a comment of how like the carton of eggs was a little light,
Oh boy.
and but he
Yeah.
it was like one of those things where it was just like, do I want to know or do I
Yeah.
not want to know? And so he wanted me to know that he knew
But
what I
let's
was
not
up
talk
to,
about it.
but like we're just gonna
Oh, it's so crazy.
leave it there.
What kids, yeah, it's, I think kids today, quote unquote, get a lot of flack from like the general population. I'm just like, we were doing crazy shit in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Dumb stuff.
Hmm.
So the kids, all right. Is it my turn to ask you a
It
question?
is.
Okay, great. All right, love. Okay. Um, if we were a superhero pair,
Hmm.
you and I,
Yep.
what would our powers be and what would our combined power do?
Oh,
Yeah.
I never thought about the concept of a combined
Yeah, I
power.
was kind of thinking about like Power Rangers or like
Yeah.
Transformers.
Hmm. Transformers. Um, Boy, that's such a good question. Um, well, I've always, I don't know if I should admit this. It
Okay.
is, I'm a big fan of comics.
Yeah, big Marvel household here.
Marvel household. I enjoyed reading comics when I was younger, and it's a nice escape from reality to
Yeah.
think like, oh man, if I only had this ability,
If only this spider would bite me.
right? How fun would that be to fly from building to building? But one of my superpowers was always like mind control. Like I think that would be so cool to be able to
That
like
is dark.
be like Professor X and just
Okay.
be able to like, get inside people's heads. I would use it for good, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's what they all say.
give everybody a raise. I wouldn't be working. What am I talking about?
Yeah, right.
Just be like
Going into the office.
going from bank to bank, just being like, hey, you want to give me all that money that's in the
Yeah,
safe,
so
right?
much for doing good here.
I
Turn
would
quick.
I would donate it.
Okay.
Or,
So
anyway, so
mind control.
so that's always kind of been what I've wanted to, if I could pick one, I think that's what I would do. But knowing that we could combine our superpowers,
Yeah.
I think, boy, I don't know. This is what superpower would you give me? Help me out here. What superpower would you choose? And then I'll see if I can come up with a combined power.
Okay. Of just like the normal, bank of superpowers, I would probably go with um flying. It's a classic for a reason. Like to be able to fly places in just like my physical body.
Hmm.
The time it takes me to drive places is one of the biggest pet peeves I have in life.
Hmm.
So I think flying would be my pick of the normal list.
Yeah, teleportation would be fun.
Yeah, kind of
Think of a
any.
place and just
Yeah, I think about like Harry Potter world, and I'm like, oh, if I could apparate, which is going from one place to another.
Mhm. I like that. Um, yeah. So if I was to be able to read minds and you were to be able to fly, and and then we would combine our superpowers, maybe that means we could communicate with animals.
Okay, that's what that recipe does.
I think so.
Love it. I cannot wait to talk to the boys.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Oh, or it's gonna be like, I mean, I've seen Doctor Doolittle. It's like a blessing and a curse, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, love it.
I remember like I went into a coffee shop one time and um yeah, like on the counter for like tip, it was like a would you rather?
Love those. It gets me every time because I have such strong opinions.
And it was, would you rather be able to communicate with animals or speak any language? Now, if I could read minds, I would be able to speak any language, which I'm just,
Okay. So
it's
that's covered.
it's an underrated superpower.
Okay.
But I chose communicate with animals for whatever reason. And I went to work and I was talking about this, and I was talking to Eric, and he was just like, oh, I would totally speak any language. He's like, you got to think about the brain power of these animals. He's like, they're dumb. He's like, so you like the conversations you would be having would just be like the most elementary type of
I don't
conversation.
know that they're dumb though.
Well,
I mean,
this was his take.
yeah.
But it was an excellent point, because
Yeah.
it's like I've thought about that comment ever since he's said it.
Yeah. I mean, the language thing is the right answer. That's such a powerful, that'd be such a powerful skill.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Great. Well, I look forward to our superpowers coming to fruition.
Yeah. And being able to influence animals and humans. Oh my gosh.
Sign me up.
This world is going to be amazing. Okay. This is a deep and serious question.
Okay.
About love. And this actually kind of stems off of the question you asked me, ironically enough. But so there's like definitely like this shift that feels like is happening in work culture, where it's shifting kind of away from the people and more towards the business. And so, like, what is one thing you would love to see any or every company like implement for their employees?
So many things.
You don't have to pick let's just start naming some.
The first one that comes to mind for me is I would love for companies to implement a consistent, fair, and equitable pay increase, right? Like cost of living adjustments aren't even a standard at most companies anymore. It's a lot of just pay for performance, which I get, like that's been a trend, and it, does good things for performance, I'm sure, all that. But I just think the world is, tougher and tougher for people, and cost of living is difficult to keep up with, and all the change in the world. So that's the first thing I would just love, of like, how can we better just take care of people at a foundational level? And like, yes, money doesn't buy happiness, but money does help people feel safe and secure and provide and all the, other things. So that would be my ultimate answer.
Yeah, there's actually research that shows that money does buy happiness.
Yeah.
But after a certain point.
Yes, right. Diminishing returns.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah. But there is a level of, just basic security and comfort that, of course, provides value to people.
Yeah, I love that, because I do think that that's the shift in the balance, right? Is like, we're all in this together. Yeah. We're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just doesn't feel that way. It feels like we're in it for you. And it's just like, well, hold on. Like, we're working really hard over here, and we're giving up a lot of our personal time to, make something successful. And we don't really get a say in what our value is. And so I love that. I think that
You'd sign that petition.
I would sign that.
Great.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Love it. Thanks.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah. What about you? Can I ask you that same question?
You can ask me whatever question you like.
Okay.
It's your podcast.
I hate when you say that.
It's funny.
I almost said something to you about it today when I was editing, because you jokingly said it. I'm like, stop saying that. People must think behind the scenes. I'm like,
nobody thinks that.
This is my podcast.
People are taking it surface level and laughing about it. It's like, my gosh, this guy is hilarious.
I'm sure. What's one thing you would add beyond what I just said?
I mean, that is such a good answer. For me, it's so we go through a lot of training programs. We've talked about this in an earlier podcast too, of like leadership training. And I just really wish like companies would adhere to the trainings. These are the values of leaderships we want you to instill in yourself and in your people. These are the the ways that we want you to work and show up. And I would just really like it if I could count on everyone else in the organization taking this stuff as seriously as they make it seem that it is.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if everybody could adhere to a standard way of working, or agree to like how we're going to show up and how we're going to treat each other, like beyond the pay, like you're ensuring that we have a culture, a standard that we're adhering to.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we just we just kind of say, well, it's like situational. Well, it kind of depends.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. Like, it's a choice.
Yeah.
And I would like to see more companies showing up. You know, and I don't know. I could go on and on about this topic, but that's for me. I care so much about culture because even if there was fair pay, like if you're in a company that is like has a terrible culture, then it's just like not fun to come to work.
It's tough.
And it's something that we have to do. Like we have to work to be able to do the things that we enjoy. Like this is the system that's created by society. I'm not against it. But I just wish we made it more, and realizing that this is something that we have to do. This is something that helps make the world go round. Like let's make it better. Let's make it more enjoyable to show up. Yeah. And more motivating to get out of bed and go do, and less anxiety ridden when you're not there.
Right.
Like I just want to be able to enjoy this limited time that I have on this planet with the people that I love and doing the hobbies I enjoy. And just all I'm asking is just to be able to have space to be able to do that. And come into work each day and be able to do that without having to battle some of these other challenges.
Yeah. Preach.
So
it's a good one.
Yeah.
Great. We just solved corporate culture with two things. Yeah. There's probably a few more, but good start.
Yeah, I think so. And our superpowers.
Yeah, and our superpowers.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, this was fun. And now we can tackle the rest of our Sunday with this checked off, which feels great.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I agree.
All right. Let's go shovel the driveway. It's back. The snow is back. Yeah. We got this.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah. Well, our listeners might not. People living in Florida listening might be like,
But you did say shovel.
Maybe they forgot. They're so thought out. They forgot what it's like.
Sand. They have too much sand on their driveways.
Yeah. Right. All right. Let's do it.
All right.
See ya.
Bye, Kimi.
Bye.